Hey guys, I'm Daniel Heilman from the brand new Fourscore Golf Tavern. We do elevated food, drinks, and golf simulator fun. If you're looking for a delicious meal or maybe a spot for a client, we have lunch specials every day. Need to entertain a few people from out of town? Easy. Just reserve one of our 4 simulator bays. Lunch service starts at 11 a.m. daily. Located in San Marcos Square, we'll see you at lunch at Fourscore Golf Tavern.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We're your local family jeweler for 46 years in Jacksonville with a huge selection of diamonds, gemstones, and pre-owned Rolex watches. And Monahan Jewelers is your store for expert jewelry repair turned around in 1 or 2 days. Most jewelry stores take 2 weeks or more, and many stores send your jewelry somewhere else for repair. At Monahan Jewelers, our jewelry repair is done in-house by expert craftsmen, and Monahans can turn around most repairs in a day or 2. So bring your jewelry repair to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying. They can also signal a major problem or electrical emergency. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Summertime is here, and it's time to cast those worries out. And Royal is here to help you do that with our summer termite special featuring Centricon. Starting at just $249. That's right, I said $249, and that's installed.
Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
It's a unique gift idea and a popular way to add fun and personality to any wedding environment. Mystic Cornhole Company builds custom, high-quality boards right here in Jax. Visit the shop on Phillips Highway or check out their designs at mysticcornhole.com.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball has cooler promotions, but some people call them ice chests. Either way, check out the items you can put your company logo on at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
What drug was administered to children in the late 1800s to mitigate coughing?
We all know that saving money on items like homeowners insurance can be done. Ask your agent about the new Southern Oak Insurance deductible options. It'll save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Bayer Pharmaceutical Company prescribed heroin regularly for coughing children until 1924, when it was banned altogether.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. It's for all the marbles tonight for the National Championship of College Baseball. Florida and LSU meet for the 3rd time in the championship series. And Gators head coach Kevin O'Sullivan on his message to the team before the game tonight.
Honestly, what's there to say? We're playing for a national championship. I think the more you talk about things, the more, maybe uptight they might get and relax. They don't need a rah-rah speech. We're playing a very good LSU team, and the winner's going to have the opportunity to be national champions.
Gators head coach Kevin O'Sullivan. You can hear the broadcast tonight, the Gator Call on 1010 a.m. with first pitch at 7 o'clock, Florida and LSU for the baseball title. 93 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
I had a hot day and it's a long way back to my home. Turn the radio on, I'm hearing my friend Lizzie pretend that their voice counts, but nothing amounts to anything until I hear it from you.
Frank, Hayes, Lauren, and Gibby. The Frangie Show starts now on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, welcome in. Glad you're along for the ride with Lauren Brooks and Andrew Gibson. I'm Frank Frangie on this Monday installment of the program. Hayes Carline, the European vacation continues. See the pictures? See today's pictures?
I did, yes.
Man, they're in France.
Looks
He's the
amazing.
king of France right now is what he is. You know my recommendation to him? It's kind of an untalked about, under the radar destination. He should try the Eiffel Tower. Okay.
That was very smart of you, and it looks like he followed your advice.
The Eiffel Tower is where she should go. So, but Hayes on vacation. We'll be here. The three of us will be here through Wednesday, and then we're all gone for the end of the week. And then next week you and Hayes and Gibby will have it, and I'll be gone for another week. And then we'll come back. It's football. Think about it. You look up. It's football season.
Yes.
That didn't take long, did it?
It did not. Once we hit kind of the end of June, with SEC Media Days right around the corner,
Yeah, and camp the minute we get
and
back.
then training camp is right after that.
Yeah,
so yes,
so-
I think literally it's the week.
Yeah.
We have 1 week from SEC to camp.
So the word on the street, Gibby, confirm or deny this, is that you've now got back to golf. You're about a 2 handicap, and you shot 68 at the stadium course. True or false? I'm trying to confirm these things.
That one is false for now.
Okay.
I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to change that to a true instead of a false. But yeah, try to get back out there.
Yeah.
I've played 2 weekends in a row. When I first moved here in 2014, I played a lot and then just didn't get to play as much in between that time. And I said, you know what, 2023 is the year. I got to start back. And I've been playing for a couple of weeks now and starting to get better. You know, I'm still working on the driving. I mean, I'm pretty good putter. The 7-iron's really good for me.
Okay.
But I got to get more accurate off the tee for the driver. But yeah, I'm out there working on it, which is fun.
Very good. Very good. It's a wonderful game. It's the best. Good golf is the most fun thing in the world. Bad golf's the most awful thing in the world, just so you know. Okay?
Yeah.
And most of us have played a lot of both.
That's right.
A lot of both. So there's that stuff. All right. All right. All kind of fun stuff we'll get to today. I really want to get in. Trent Dilfer made some comments on a podcast. Did you see these comments at all that Trent Dilfer made?
Yes, on the Rick and Bubba podcast.
Is that well? Listen, let me tell you. You go on with Rick and Bubba. You better bring the heat.
You made it.
You better bring the heat with both Rick and Bubba. But I loved what he said, and I thought he said some stuff that was very, very interesting, and I'm gonna kind of talk about it. There's all kind of legs to it, so there's no question about that. By the way, I did a music poll. Did you see the results of the music poll?
I voted, so I did not, but I have not seen the results.
So I did a music poll because after being so depressed on Saturday night, I was watching Axis, and they had the Fleetwood Mac concert on the dance. So I did a poll, and Gibby, did you see this poll? We did.
No, I have to look it up. I haven't seen it.
We did this poll over the weekend. I got to find it. But I said, okay, other than the Beatles and the Stones, who were the best band of the rock era if these were your choices? And I put Led Zeppelin, the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, Pink Floyd. Now look, Queen could have made the ballot. The Who could have made the ballot, but Twitter only allows you 4 spots, right?
I think Queen would have done very well.
Yeah, Queen. Yeah, and again, I could have put whoever. I mean, but Led Zeppelin, the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, and Pink Floyd made the list. The Eagles nudged. Now again, it was my poll, so the people that would see it were people that follow me on Twitter. So there's probably way more Eagles fans than there are Led Zeppelin fans, which I get. If Rick Ballou had done this poll or Blaylock had done this poll, it would have been more Led Zeppelin. So I get that. But the Eagles narrowly beat Led Zeppelin, 39-38%.
When I voted, the Eagles were in second place behind Led Zeppelin, so I was afraid for Glenn Fry that he would come in second place, but I'm so glad that he surged ahead.
Yeah, so
Are you surprised that Fleetwood Mac got dominated, basically?
Totally surprised.
Yeah, I am too.
I thought they would be very close in that poll.
See, I didn't, and I think most people, when they think of rock and roll, think dudes and they think guitars.
Yeah, and you're right.
Unfortunately, and most people on Twitter are probably more of your followers are men, and so they're always going to lean more towards a male-dominated
And I tried to say band of the rock era, not rock and roll bands. I tried to word it that way because it's whatever band you like. It doesn't matter what they play. So anyway, so there's that. By the way, and we'll play this at some point. So I went to see Old Dominion. You knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And in Red Rock, and you saw them here in town.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful, kind of they're not new, kind of 10 years in, but I really like them. I don't like a lot of the new country stuff, but I really like them. And you've heard Old Dominion, right, Gib? You know some of the
Absolutely, yeah.
So we're at the concert at Red Rocks, and people are holding up signs for the different songs. And one of the signs I saw is they got a song called "How Good Is That?" Well, obviously that's going to get my attention. I mean, if there's a song called "How Good Is That?" I don't know whether or not there's a copyright infringement. I can sue them or not. But joking aside, I wanted to hear the song. So, but anyway,
first you have to copyright "How Good Is That?"
That's right. So anyway, so I didn't hear it. But you discovered the song. So it's now out.
Finally.
They've released it.
Yes, yeah. It was unreleased at that point in time. I don't know exactly how fans figure out what music is about to be released, but
somebody did because I saw the band.
I'm
I
sure
saw the posters.
a lot of times bands will tease songs on Instagram or other platforms, and so either way, yes, the song is now officially out on Spotify. Maybe Gibby can play a little bit of that later, but yeah,
there's a
it's
song
called "How Good Is That?" and it's great.
It's a really good song.
It's a great song. I texted you about it, and then you never responded.
Well, but I didn't realize I hadn't until I was looking at my music the other day. And then I said, oh, goodness, I didn't respond to Lauren about that. But anyway, so How Good Is That is out there. So, I don't know, for me, that's kind of cool. So there's
As
that.
well it should be. It's a great song.
What about the College World Series? Gibby, how much of it did you watch?
I've watched about 95% of it.
Yeah, and you obviously watched 100% of it.
That would be correct.
First of all, what a great College World Series it's been.
Overall, not just the championship
right.
series. Yes.
Close games and well-played games. What a fantastic College World Series it's been. And then not to be outdone, the championship series between LSU and Florida. Listen, I said this. I thought they were the two best teams in the country all along. I said that all along. I didn't pretend to know Wake Forest. Gibby, you probably saw Wake Forest a little. I didn't see them very much. I didn't pretend to know Wake Forest, but I thought these were the two best teams. I thought it was going to be a 3-team tournament. It would be Florida, LSU, and Wake Forest, which it was. I thought Florida and LSU would meet in the finals, which they did. And I thought Florida would win. I thought they would sweep because without Skeens, I thought they would win both games. And, if Wyatt Langford's ball is 5 feet to the left, they sweep, on Saturday night. So, but nonetheless, we have a game tonight. I'm going to get all into the particulars, the details, why that game matters, where the psychology is. We'll get to that in a minute because it was incredible. There's so many storylines. But what a College World Series. It is, from start to finish, and that'll be tonight when it's finished, it'll be one for the ages for sure.
Yeah, I said on Friday, this is going to go to 3 games based off of the fact that the College World Series thus far has been so incredibly competitive the entire tournament. You knew that Florida and LSU was not going to have one team sweep the other. It started, though, Frank, last night to feel like LSU might sweep Florida early in that game because Hurston Waldrop just wasn't pitching the way that we expected him to. But overall, it's been fantastic. Yesterday's game, for people who aren't Gator fans, I can understand where they're saying, no, that was a dud. But certainly for Florida fans to watch their team be able to bounce back like that, when Hurston Waldrop isn't playing well and you're already down a game when Sproat has pitched, to be able to come to life like they did. But yeah, overall, I heard Dari Nokwa on with XL Primetime earlier, and he said this is one of the best tournaments ever.
Ever. It is.
It really is.
I watch the College World Series every year, Florida or no Florida. I watch it every year. I watch about every game. I watch parts of every game.
Sure.
It's as good a College World Series as there has ever been. I believe that all my heart. I was watching it. I think they first started televising it in like the early 80s. I don't think they televised it before that. That's when ESPN came around, and I think I've watched most of them they've televised, which means 30, 40 years of it. And it has really been one of the best ever. Gibby, did you notice that Waldrop would not throw his fastball? Did you notice that?
Yeah, and I also noticed that he could not throw a first pitch strike.
Well, because he wouldn't throw a fastball.
Right, that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, he would not. Lauren, it was the damnedest thing I ever saw. He would not throw a fastball. He was throwing. I know he's got that nasty splitter and he's got a slider.
Wonder if he's just afraid they would hit it out.
I guess.
Because the wind was crazy.
The wind was blowing
and
out.
the Gators benefited big time.
Yeah, but it was really bizarre. But anyway, we'll talk a lot about that today.
I would assume, by the way, Sully was telling him, don't throw the fastball.
Yeah, Ryapel calls the pitches, but you see Sully on that walkie-talkie,
right, yeah.
So he's got to be
Sully's
involved.
obviously talking to Ryapel.
So, but they were not going fastball very often. So we'll talk about that. All right, got a lot of things to get to. We'll talk a little bit about the Performance Center. The Jaguars right around the corner from practicing. Hopefully they'll be in the Performance Center. I think that's exciting. So a little Jaguar talk. I'm going to talk about realignment as it becomes official this weekend. It's amazing how many teams have changed conferences and how much the teams that change conferences tend to struggle. So we'll get to that a little bit. Trent Dilfer's comments I thought made a lot of sense. I applaud him for making those. He's a bit of a grandstander, but that's okay because I thought the comments he made made a lot of sense to me. I liked what he said, so we'll get to that a little in the show as well. Miami's got a brand new baseball coach. I'm a little surprised the way they went, and I'll tell you why that in just a little bit, so we'll get to that. We got some college football, some NFL, a whole bunch of stuff on the table. But let's start with the College World Series. Tonight, Florida plays for its second ever championship. Florida would become the first school in NCAA history to have multiple championships in football, basketball, and baseball if the Gators win tonight. Did you realize that? Be the first team in the history of college athletics to have multiple titles in football, basketball, and baseball. They've already got 3 footballs. They've got 2 basketballs. They've got a baseball. This would be the second baseball. Pretty amazing.
We need a statue of Jeremy Foley.
Yeah, maybe he hired all 3 coaches. He hired all the coaches that did it, and so yes, we probably do. Let's take a break. Let's talk about a crazy game coming up tonight in Omaha. That's how we'll kick off the program on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
Jacksonville's one of a kind.
I heard a story about you. I was wondering if it's true.
Everything you've heard about me is true.
This is 1010XL.
Hello,
First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
At Hodges Mazda, we have a Mazda with your name on it, just in time for summer. Inventory is back, and so is 0% financing. Lauren Brooks here. Purchase a new 2023 Mazda CX-9 and enjoy 0% APR for 36 months. You heard right, 0% financing on a new Mazda CX-9 with third-row seating. And at Hodges Mazda, all vehicle purchases come with 2 years free maintenance. That's peace of mind. Don't purchase until you shop with Hodges Mazda. Stop by today or online at HodgesMazda.com. See dealer for details, terms, and fees for qualified customers through Mazda Financial Services. 36-month APR expires July 5th, 2023.
Jacksonville people, the best wings in town are coming to Mandarin. The Players Grill is expanding and opening soon on San Jose. Watch your favorite teams and enjoy burgers, pizza, salads, and more. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
Did you know that many cooling companies are now part of big conglomerates with no connection to Northeast Florida? In the past, they have concentrated on heating and air conditioning, but after a buyout, many add plumbing and electrical services. This raises their overhead, and those costs are passed on to the consumer. It's a case where bigger isn't better, it's just more expensive. Not Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Mike Merritt remains family-owned and operated. Merritt's focus has been the same for more than 30 years, keeping Northeast Florida comfortable, no matter what the weather. And there are no overtime or weekend surcharges. Mike Merritt's team does not work on commission. They repair only what needs repair and offer replacements only on what can't be fixed. And unlike at giant corporations where you can feel like just another number, with Mike Merritt, you'll feel like number one. Florida license CACO 50384.
I'm Hacker. Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Wednesday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL Florida Gator Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or TuneIn.
At Andy's Automotive and Truck Services, they know that your company's fleet is more than just a bunch of cars and trucks. It's your livelihood, your reputation, your pride. So when you need routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs, Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize your downtime and keep your fleet running like new. While you care for your employees and customers, rest assured Andy's Automotive will take care of your fleet. Visit the team at andysats.com.
I'm Dr. Mitchell Yass, the most unknown world-renowned expert on pain elimination. That's right, elimination. If you've tried medications, injections, physical therapy, chiropractic, even surgery, and still experience pain, then say yes to Yas. I have successfully used the Yas method for over 30 years to help thousands reclaim their lives. To learn more, call me at 904-906-YASS. Let's end your pain and say yes to Yas.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
74.3% of those that own a home security system indicate that their security system and products make them feel safe. Because security cameras give you peace of mind. Denny Thompson here. Let Tyson Sound and Security assess your home security needs and keep the bad guys out so you can have full peace of mind too. While you're at it, ask them how they can help lower your home insurance payments. Visit TysonSoundandSecurity.com. Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Swing and a Ty Evans fly ball down the left field line toward the corner. Pearson to the track, to the wall. Chop, chop, chop. Grand slam for Ty Evans.
Honestly, what's there to say? We're playing for a national championship. I think the more you talk about things, the more, maybe uptight they might get and relax. They don't need a rah-rah speech. We're playing a very good LSU team, and the winner's going to have the opportunity to be national champions.
The first call you heard, Sean Kelly on the Gator Radio Network. You hear this here on 1010 a.m. And then of the Ty Evans Grand Slam, which kind of broke the game open yesterday. Then Kevin O'Sullivan, the Gator head coach, talks about tonight's winner-take-all championship game of the College World Series. So much to unpack for this game. Here's what I'll say, and I said this during the handoff. I don't know who the psychology best affects. Does it affect the team that scored 24 runs, so now they're confident? Or does it affect the other team that gave up, so now they got a chip on their shoulder and the other team's a little complacent? You never know how that psychology is going to work. But I'll say this, I'd rather be the team that just scored 24 than the team that gave up 24. So if there's any emotional advantage at all, and I'm not sure there is, by the way, but if there is, it's probably Florida.
Yeah, I think on this stage, I don't think what happened Saturday night and I don't think what happened yesterday matters all that much.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
I think how Jack Caglione pitches matters a ton, and I think whoever LSU is going to throw out there and how they pitch, and those first few innings, it's going to be an absolute war. And whoever I think comes out of the first few innings with a couple runs, the lead, if we get to the fifth inning and it's 0-0, oh boy, it feels like it's going to go to 12 innings.
Gibby, what do you think about Skeens? What do you think we see him, and when do we see him?
I think you see him. I believe he'll pitch in relief. I think pitching Thursday, throwing over 100 pitches, coming back, he'll pitch in the game. I think what I would do is if I had a lead late, if I'm LSU, I bring in Skeens to close it out. You've seen starting pitchers do that all the time in the World Series. Chris Sale closed out a championship in the World Series. Steven Strasburg closed them out. The Braves have done it when they've won World Series, bring a starter in to close it out. So I would say that, in my personal opinion, I think Skeens will pitch in relief. There's certainly a chance he'll start, but I would pitch him in relief, especially if you have the lead and a chance to close it out.
I'll give you a devil's advocate, okay? Florida just hung 24. If he's available to pitch, okay, if you're LSU and he's available to pitch, do you risk not pitching him against a team that just scored 24 runs and you look up and you're down 9-1? Then he can't help you. See my point, Gibby? If you're down 9-1, he can't. If he's got 40 pitches in him, let's assume he's got 40 to 50 pitches in him. You're never going to see those 40 if you're down 9-1 in the fourth inning.
Yeah, but I think in baseball, 9-1, especially in this College World Series, 9-1 is not safe. Florida scored 24 yesterday. LSU could easily come out tonight and score 12 or maybe 20. I mean, Caglione is throwing all over the place. I mean, he could be wild as could be, especially if he's throwing wild, there's not a more stressful situation in the season than tonight.
Yeah, that's right. So, look, most people think they're going to use him and not start him. And is that what you think too?
Yes.
You think they'll use him and not start him. The psychological part of this is in the psychology of the whole is the whole skiing thing is, look, there's going to be everybody who lives in Baton Rouge is there. I said that you and I talked about this before the show. I said it on the handoff. It's amazing how many LSU fans have gone to this thing. I mean, there's 25,000 people in the stadium, but 80,000 of them are going to be LSU fans. It's amazing. It's amazing how many.
Although we finally heard some, it's great to be a Florida Gator yesterday.
Yes, because they left.
Finally,
after they left, you couldn't even hear the Tom Petty song until they left. But I do think it's going to be packed with LSU fans. So one way you use the psychology is you don't start him. To Gibby's point, you're in a close game, your point too, third or fourth inning. Then you trot him down there because if I had him starting the game in the dugout, no one starts in the bullpen.
Right.
And you start the game in the dugout. About the fourth inning, if it's a 1-run game either way, 2-run game, you trot him down there. Everybody knows what he looks like. He's 6'5", 240, and he's got the handlebar mustache. You trot him down there, the place goes crazy. Just the fact that he's jogging down to the bullpen. And so there's your emotion. So do you wait for that emotional lift to the middle of the game? If it's me, I'll say it again. If he's my guy, now look, Thatcher Hurd's pretty good. Is it Griffin, the other guy that made pitches, pretty good? But if I've got 40 or 50 pitches, I'm not risking, and I know he can give me 40 or 50 pitches, and I'm assuming he can pitch tonight. I'd be shocked if he doesn't pitch at all.
Oh, he's pitching tonight.
Yeah, he's pitching tonight. At some point, he's pitching.
If you got Skeens, I don't care what he's doing, relief, starting, he's pitching.
Yeah.
It's a national championship.
100% agree.
Does it look less irresponsible if you're Jay Johnson if you bring him in relief over starting him?
I hear you, but let me defend the guy a little bit now. College coach, I mean, it's been 3 days rest. He didn't.
But he normally gets 6?
Yeah, but that ends in July when he gets drafted.
Yeah, and he's thrown 240 pitches in 12 days.
Yeah,
that's a little different than probably normal.
Yeah, but he's 6'5", 250. He's 21 years old.
See, as a Pirates fan, I thought you'd come in here and say it's morally irresponsible to have him throw one pitch
Well,
tonight.
that's the fun conversation.
Right.
But the real conversation is about tonight's game. And the real conversation about tonight's game is I'm trying to look at what would Florida think, what would LSU. If I'm LSU, I'm hoping like heck I got 40 pitches in the guy. So back to we all agree he's pitching tonight. Okay, there's nobody I know that doesn't think he's pitching. So let's assume he's got 40 or 50 pitches in him. The last thing I'd want to do if I'm LSU is not use him because maybe 9-1 you can overcome it, but 9-1 you're probably not seeing him. Okay, I'll 9-1 in the fifth. I don't think he pitches.
Yeah, to me, I think their game plan is going to be go through maybe 3 innings.
Hope you're close.
With
Hurd or whoever.
With Hurd, and then bring him in for 3 innings and see how long he can go. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. So but there's no doubt in my mind he's pitching. The other storyline, Gibby hit it. Caglione can be all over the place. They've all been all over the place. By the way, Sprode and Waltrip weren't very good.
No.
The fact that Florida is 1 game away when the big advantage they had was Sprode and Waldrop were both fresh, and neither one of them were very good.
Correct.
Which is really – and they're still 1 game away.
was obviously better than Waldrop.
Yeah, but he was all over the place too. He survived it better than Waldrop did.
I felt like LSU's strategy was make these guys throw a lot of pitches because you looked up.
Oh, absolutely.
And Sprout had 60 pitches in the second inning.
Agreed.
Yeah,
and so did Waldrop. You're right.
They know – the LSU guys know how to take an at-bat 10, 12 pitches deep.
Yeah, and they
almost
did.
Every single one of them did.
And they fouled off ball after ball. But assume Caglione's got to throw strikes.
Good luck.
You don't know what's going to happen with the LSU pitching. So as far as yesterday's game goes, what a bizarre game. And give Sully credit. Who saw Blake Purnell and Nick Figueroa coming in, and they were fantastic because they couldn't be scouted. Nobody saw them coming.
Right. Because the first thing you read on Twitter is Slater's in the bullpen warming up, so you think automatically, okay, Slater's coming in after Waldrop. And then all of a sudden, Blake Purnell's trotted out, and it was so surprising.
Slater is very good, but he doesn't have great movement. He throws about 92, 93, which is now a hitting speed.
Yeah.
Purnell is throwing 88, 89, which in today's day and age is kind of under hitting speed.
Right.
And he got a little movement. The ball dives. So they needed him.
And a different angle.
Correct. An arm angle. They needed one thing from him. A ground ball. Gibby, they needed a ground ball to shortstop. That's all they needed.
They got it.
And he got it. And he got a ground ball to shortstop.
It was the most massive thing that could have happened for Florida.
Biggest play of the game.
And they scored 24 runs, and yet that was still the most massive thing that could have happened.
Biggest play of the game. 100% agree with that. So they got that out of him, and it was and then Figueroa was very good. So
I had forgotten he was on the team at this point in time.
The big question now becomes, now that Curlin and Langford and Kaggs cut loose, now that has happened, are they now going to go nuts again tonight? That's the question: are they confident?
Do we have a wind report?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big part too.
Boy, it really is. It is a big part of it. So that's. And by the way, Langford's been the MVP. As good as Cruz is in this tournament, Langford's been the best player in the tournament.
5 for 5.
Yeah.
Last night.
He's been the best player in the tournament so far. So
well,
that could shift the Cags if he does pitch really well tonight.
That's true. And for LSU's part in this yesterday, it was 3-1. It was 3-3, and then it just completely changed. I felt like for LSU when I think it was 3-3. And the shortstop boots it when he had a chance to turn 2 and keep it a tie game.
Correct.
That was a complete game changer because
if
he fields that, they get 2.
Agreed.
It's a completely different game because it's tied after that.
And then the windblown grand slam, which apparently
I didn't realize I said before he went up to bat, hit a grand slam tie, just do it. And then I didn't even think it was one at first.
Well, you could tell. Here's what was funny: you could tell watching on TV that it was a fly ball that would have been a medium fly ball without the wind, so it would have been caught. What you couldn't tell on TV until they told you later, it also was 10 feet foul. So, Gibby, the wind didn't just blow it over the fence; it blew it back into fair territory and then over the fence.
Yeah, Cardozo on the radio call said that ball started foul, and then hooked fair for a grand slam.
And so that was right.
I see 15 miles per hour as far as wind goes, but what we don't know is which direction.
Yeah, and right, we don't. The other thing is don't be too deceived by the 24 runs. Now, that's good for Florida because it was a good batting practice.
Right.
I think.
Which is what it was,
yeah,
BP.
Gibby, I thought when it got to 11 is when Jay Johnson very wisely said, you know what, I'm going to my freshmen. I'm going to guys who throw batting practice for us. I'm going to guys who are probably going to transfer out of here and go to junior college next year.
Right.
I'm saving my arms for tomorrow. So I think runs 12 through 24 or when LSU quit trying, which is smart, by the way. If you're not going to win the game, save what you got, and that's why you didn't see any of the other big pitchers for them.
I've seen a lot on Twitter about in fact, I'm going to put a Twitter poll out there. What should LSU do with Paul Skeens tonight? And I've seen a lot of people talk about it. Somebody asked Kurt Schilling on Twitter, and he said 3 days rest ? At what, 21 years old?
Right.
Take the blanking ball.
He did. He did. That's so Schilling. And by the way, we're going to do a Bold City Buzz when we come back too, Gibby. Same thing. What do you think LSU will do with Skeens? If you want to call our number, it is 207-7071. 207-7071. That's the Bold City Buzz. What do you think they will do with Skeens? Do you think you'll see Skeens tonight? Do you think he'll start? Do you think he'll relieve? Do you think he won't pitch at all? Do you think he shouldn't pitch at all? Right now, I really want to know what people think about that because that's the event that everyone's talking about now. 207-7071. That is the Bold City Buzz. So we want to hear from you on that and what may happen tonight.
By the way, we're Gator fans, so we're probably skewed. But Gibby, you're watching, not a Gator fan. What have you thought about the umpiring?
Oh, he's
umpire.
Yeah, it's been bad. I mean, it's there have been calls that have gone either way, but there have been a lot of calls that have like, where was that?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm a Florida fan, I would be really upset with some of the calls.
Yeah, I would too, but I didn't walk away thinking I thought they were bad for both. But
I agree.
I thought they were bad for both, but yeah.
One of my buddies who's a Gators fan said this guy clearly went to LSU for college.
Hey, Gibby, let me ask you this question, by the way, speaking of that. I read something very interesting, one of the most interesting things I've ever read about pitching. So AAA is the only, and Gibby, you'll know this better than I will, AAA is the only level where they use exclusive robot, whatever they call it, strike zone. Is that right? Am I right about that?
Yes.
They don't do it in AA or single A, right?
I'm pretty sure.
So we know in AAA.
They do.
They do. Okay, so I read something the other day that said pitchers that go from AA to AAA really struggle because in AAA it's got to be part of it's got to touch the plate or it's not a strike. So pitchers count on those balls a little off.
Right. Because you learn the ump.
Right, in Major League ump. So single A, AA in Major League, you kind of learn the guy's strike zone. In AAA, there is no guy. It's the robot. So, Gibby, I never thought about that, but AAA is where pitchers really struggle because it's the only level where they've got it where they know they don't get any help.
Well, it's a huge adjustment.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go from one level to the next and it's different, and especially say for example, obviously you're going from AAA to the major leagues, then you've got the pitch clock to adjust to. Keep in mind, I mean, most pitchers have adjusted to the clock, but there's been some guys that they just can't do it for whatever reason. But to your point about the strike zone, yeah, I mean, and that's a mental thing too. You can't. You're going to get off your game if it's different at one level to the next. mentally it's going to be a big adjustment.
Hitters love the robot because there's rarely a strike that's called a ball. Almost never. Think about that. There's never a strike that's called a ball. Now, I say never, not very often. But there's a lot of balls that are called strikes.
Yes.
So it's going to help hitters way more than it's going to help pitchers. So it's really an interesting dynamic. So
By the way, one pitcher who does not care at all about the pitch clock, Cade Fisher.
No.
The moment he gets that ball back, he is raring to go.
He's the fastest worker I've seen in college in years.
Yep.
And I thought it's funny, his name, Riley Cooper, the left-hander for LSU.
I was skirning
that guy worked really fast, too. And I felt like it in the first game, I thought it kind of kept Florida off balance because he's lefty.
I agree with you.
And he's like, as soon as he gets it, he's throwing it. And I felt like he gave up one hit.
Yeah,
he was really good.
He was really good.
And
he's available.
He had a stomach disorder yesterday. Did you see
Right,
that? He didn't even go to the park. He had a stomach virus or something. But
he probably ate that gator that Cade Beloso's dad had on.
What are the odds his name's Riley Cooper?
Oh, that's perfect.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. But we're going to talk a little bit more about this game coming up. But I do want you to weigh in on the Bold City Buzz 207-7071. Tell us what you think. Will Skeens pitch? Will he start? Will he relieve? Will he not pitch at all? Should he not pitch? We want your thoughts on that. Big game tonight. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
The past comes to life in the present.
And the Jaguars are going to the playoffs.
The memories bridge the gap to the future.
From 27-0 to win the game.
Experience the most play-by-play sports on 1010XL.
Nimnicht for Life is here. Buy your next pre-owned vehicle with confidence and peace of mind at Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet now offers a lifetime engine and powertrain warranty on qualifying pre-owned vehicles, including 1 year free maintenance. Frank Frangie here. Nimnicht for Life keeps you on the road and worry-free. Nimnicht has more than 300 certified pre-owned and used vehicles to choose from, and each vehicle includes a detailed vehicle history report. So visit NimnichtChevy.com or go to Park and Cassett Avenue. Chevy, find new roads.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you.
Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real long-term banking relationship at One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit one-to-one-fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, in talking about the quality of cut of a diamond, is there a particular diamond cutter that's known as the best?
Frank, the answer is yes, and that would be Hearts on Fire, who have the world's most perfectly cut diamond, and we have them now at Underwoods. When anybody comes in and looks at one of these diamonds, the first thing they say is, wow! That's because these diamonds are cut from absolute maximum beauty and are really worth seeing, so you have an idea of how good a diamond can really look. They have perfect polish, perfect symmetry, and perfect proportions, and are backed up with an American Gem Society diamond quality document. Now, not every diamond could be a Hearts on Fire diamond because only certain rough diamonds in the hands of the most skilled cutters working in state-of-the-art cutting facilities can cut these. In fact, only 200 diamond cutters out of the 1 million people employed in the diamond cutting trade are skilled enough to cut Hearts on Fire diamonds.
See Hearts on Fire now at Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, the shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
If golf is your thing, you might want to check out Hidden Hills Golf Club. At Hidden Hills, we simply love the game, and we take great care of our golfing friends. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows.
There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Come hang with 1010XL for lunch this Friday at ABBQ. XL Primetime will be live for Beef Rib Friday, the best meat to come off their smokers. Meet and drink with XL Primetime live Friday from 12 to 3 at ABBQ.
Do you have a lift station at your business? Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services would love to be your maintenance provider. Give us a call for a quote today, 904-862-6769, or online at duckrooter.com.
Everyone seems to be in a time crunch these days. Well, don't forget you can always count on the cold case at Daly's. Always convenient, always cold, whether it's the king of beers, Natty Light, Stella, or Cigar City, or Goose Island or Bud Light Seltzer. Dash into Daly's and grab one to go.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From roll and lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years, you can count on Catlin.
Malfunctions in your electrical panel can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
888-8-Sparky.
Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time now for the Bold City.
Buzz, 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 buzz.
Call 207-7071 and let us know what you think.
Yay for Skeens. After Vita Blue's passing, he's showing some love and respect for Raleigh Fingers with the handlebar mustache.
Mark my words, Skeens is going to start. Go Gators.
All right, let's know what you think. That's a couple of the calls right out of the gate. 207-7071, the Bold City Buzz. We want to hear from you now when these things happen. Do you think Skeens starts? Do you think he should start? Do you think he'll pitch it all? I love the first call. The handlebar mustache.
Raleigh Fingers,
the Raleigh
baby.
Fingers. It is the real Raleigh Fingers
Well,
look.
he would be closing it out tonight if he's Raleigh Fingers.
That's correct. 207-7071. That is the Bold City Buzz. We'd love to hear from you if you'd like to weigh in on what's going to happen and what LSU should do. Who's going to win? Are you confident Florida's going to win?
Am I confident? No, because of the way Cags pitched his last couple times out. Optimistic, obviously, but I also don't. It could go so many different ways, but I don't know how good LSU's pitching is going to be. I had no idea, by the way, Tyler Floyd was that good.
Yeah,
I had absolutely no idea. Jacob Redner, I'll give him credit, before the game tweeted out, Florida has to lay off Tyler Floyd's fastball, high fastball, and Florida didn't. And so he knew, as he covers the team there in Omaha, I had no idea how good he was.
So he's really good. And Sully made a great point, too. Sully said, we've managed the moment so well all year long, didn't manage it well. Got overswung, got too excited, got too hyped up. Give me who wins tonight.
I think LSU wins very close, especially if Skeens pitches. Look, he's 21 years old. I don't think he'll show much ill effects from having 3 days rest.
I agree with that.
Because look, I mean, normally this is not your routine. Well, this is also not a start in March. This is the national championship, so I think it's a close ball game, but I think LSU pulls it out late.
Yeah, I think Florida's going to win. I think Florida's got the best team in the country. I think, and I've thought that for the longest time. But I'll say this: if Florida doesn't have, sometimes the prohibitive best team plays the Cinderella, and if the Cinderella wins, you think, well, they just had a good moment. That's not. This isn't. There are no Cinderellas tonight.
Now these are two Goliaths.
Two Goliaths,
big time.
It really is, and it's two great teams. I think Florida's got the better of the two teams, but it's close. I mean, it is close. They're both very, very good. They're both. Whoever wins will be a deserving. Even if an umpire misses a call at the end of the game or a wind blows a ball out, there's no excuses. Whoever wins tonight is the deserving national champion because these two teams are real. This is Alabama, Georgia. That's what this is.
Absolutely.
This is Duke, North Carolina in their heyday playing for the national championship. That's how good these two programs are.
Yeah. How early do you think we'll be able to tell if Kaggs is going to be not necessarily the winning pitcher, but be good enough?
My guess is he is going to be all over the place a little. That doesn't mean he can't fight through that. He has had control issues. The umpire, these strike zones have jumped all over the place. The wind's blowing. It'll be the most important game of his life. All that logic says a guy that hasn't always thrown strikes is going to walk some guys. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I mean, I think it's less likely that Skeens will because he's further along. He throws strikes. He's got great command.
And this is what he does.
Right. That's right. So
he's not also batting and hitting home runs.
By the way, now he's not.
Well, right. He will be.
No. He won't be ever again. But he was a. Do you know he was a two-way player at Air Force? Did you realize that, Gibby?
He looks like a home run.
Who's that?
Skeens was a two-way player at Air Force.
You don't think they'd ever try to let him hit in the bigs?
No, he won't hit in the bigs. He's a pitcher only now. But he was a two-way player at Air. I didn't know that, and I don't know how good I don't know how good a hitter he was. But he was like Kaggs. He was a two-way player. I mean, he's 6'5", 250.
Right.
He was a two-way player at Air Force, and now he's a pitcher only. But no, I think I think he's going to start. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I just think I'll say it again. If you've got him now, again, Thatcher Hurd's really good, and I think it's Griffin. I'm trying to think the other guy they got. But Thatcher Hurd's there is a really good pitcher, and my guess is he starts if Skeens doesn't. But I just can't imagine. You just saw this other team hang 24 runs on you. If you've got Skeens, do you risk? If you've got 40 or 50 pitches, do you risk looking up and you're down 7-2 and it's too late to bring him in? That's the fear I would have if I was LSU. That's why if I had him, I'd pitch him.
Yeah, I totally get that. And here's the thing I would look at from a LSU perspective from yesterday's game. I can't wait to get back on the field because if I just gave up 24, I can't wait to go score my 24 and just get back out on the field because you know how it goes, Frank. If you're on the losing end of that, you can't wait to play. And guess what? You got another day to play. Fortunately for LSU, so man, I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
I've seen both people predict both psychologies to what you just said. I hear some people say, man, LSU's going to be chomping at the bit, chip on their shoulder because they just got embarrassed. Boy, look out for LSU. I heard other people say Florida has been awoken and LSU's going to have lost some confidence. And by the way, Todd Walker's the one that said that, who's a former LSU player. And he said, I think LSU's going to have lost some confidence. So I will say this. If you're LSU, regardless of one more reason I would start Skeens, if you're LSU, those first 4 innings are really important.
That they are.
Because if the other guy just hung 24 on you and you look up and you're down 7-1, then it's really hard to come back.
Yeah, I mean, psychology-wise at the same time, though, isn't it really hard to pull Skeens? If you're Jay Johnson, and in your head, he can only pitch 40 pitches. We'll just use that as an example. Isn't it really hard to pull him and do the right thing if he's no-hitting the Gators at that point in time? You want to keep him out there, and then you're fighting with the same thing that we've talked about.
And then you lean on I asked him.
Correct.
Yeah, I asked him. Yeah,
did you ask Derek Shelton?
Right. Exactly. So we'll see what happens. So, but I think a few other storylines in this game. Jacksonville's Colby Halter, although he hasn't hit a lot,
defensively
he's
incredible.
Been magnificent. Yeah. Gibby, have you seen some of those plays he's made?
Absolutely. And
he is a really good third. Unfortunately, third base doesn't equate to you get drafted if you're good defensively. You got to hit. You got to hit to play on the corners.
You got to hit.
But boy, has he been a good third. He's been magnificent at third base for the Gators.
Yeah, I talked to him a couple of weeks ago before the College World Series started, and I said, "How do you feel like your game's going?" And he said, "The defense is always going to be there." And it is. He said, I got to be able to hit more consistently, but the defense is always going to be there. And, boy, it has. The defense has been great.
It really has. And the other great story, by the way.
They go Crusaders.
Yeah.
There you go. That's right.
Langford's been the best player in the College World Series. He's been the best player. Florida doesn't even get this far if he doesn't hit the home run against whoever it was, Virginia. Down
He's had a ton
to-
of power.
down to-
Cruz has made it on base every single game.
Yeah, of the season.
Yeah, of the season.
And he's really good. I'm not saying he's a better player than
Sure.
Cruz. I probably would still draft Cruz ahead of him. But Langford's been the best player in this tournament. I'm just telling you, he's been the best player in this tournament. But the best story of the tournament is Riopelle. This catcher who is not going to play baseball after this, who's been the leader of that team, the captain, the leader of the pitching staff, and he's hit 6 home runs. He has 8. And did you see him interviewed afterwards?
Yeah.
He's funny. I mean, he is a down-to-earth, really funny guy.
What's he going to do, like finance or something?
Yeah, he's got a job already lined up.
Big job.
I would bet, if it was my money, I would bet that it's a 6-figure job.
Right.
That's what I'm going to guess. By the way, he hit, for people who weren't paying attention in the regular season, he hit 10 home runs in the regular season, Riopelle did, okay? He's hit 9 in the postseason.
Is that right? Is it
10
9?
in the regular season, 9 in the postseason.
I thought
he was not ready to go home.
I thought Kyle Peterson had the best line. He goes, here's what I will tell you. The men's league in Tampa better get ready because he's the first round draft pick.
That's right.
This is the first draft pick in the men's league in Tampa that plays at whatever park on Tuesday nights at 6:30. They're getting a good one.
That they absolutely
are. That was hilarious.
It was. That was really good. How about Ty Evans? Oh my gosh! I mean, this guy. What, 4 homers?
Sully's a great coach.
Well, and they were surprised. He is such a good power hitter. They were surprised he got benched. They were surprised he kind of lost it because he's a good.
Which they told the story. He called Sully at 8:30 and said, please have faith in me. Keep the faith in me. I don't want to, lose my starting job. By the way, Frank, one other storyline from yesterday that we didn't get to, and since y'all are baseball guys, I'll ask both of you. Rivera stealing the base when the Gators were up by so much.
It's funny. To Gibby's point earlier, and now this is me defending my guys, I guess, that thing can change in a minute. They were up 12, like Gibby said, with the wind blowing out. A 6-run inning happens.
Absolutely.
You don't stop playing.
Yeah, I don't think you stop playing either. I don't think so either, Gibby. Now, if it's a normal game and everything's 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, and then all of a sudden you're up 11-1, and it's in the 7th or 8th inning. You don't steal then. But this game didn't feel like that to me.
Well, if it was a regular season game, they would have been run ruled, and so we wouldn't have even had the conversation.
Correct, but I mean, if it's a major league game or whatever.
Well, and the other thing, go ahead, Frank.
I agree with what Gibby said. Gibby said it more succinctly than I did. You don't stop playing. Not with the wind blowing and the stakes on the line in a game like that.
Well, and look, I mean, these are the 2 best teams, not just in the country, but from the SEC, and I mean, all these guys can hit home runs. If you look at each time they flash the graphics up there, every one of these guys in every lineup has got a bunch of home runs.
Right. It's the home run era. And I'll say this, too. Once Jay Johnson emptied his bench and pulled Cruz and Tommy out of the game, well, then Florida did, too. Florida's the last inning or two. Florida ran guys up there that would never get to play in a College World Series.
Yeah, when I went to the Florida Vanderbilt baseball game, it was senior day for the Gators. And one of the guys, I had not heard of him, but Tucker Talbot from here. Yeah. And so he was one of the guys that got in yesterday, so that was cool to see.
Yeah, and I think once Jay emptied his bench, then Sully emptied his bench too. I don't think there was some John because a guy got hit, and I think one guy bumped into another guy. But I think, unlike the fans who don't seem to like each other very much, I think there's a lot of respect between those 2 teams. I can tell you this: when the guy who hit the home run to win it on the 11th on Saturday,
Beloso.
When Beloso hit I don't know if you were watching this or not, Gibby, but when Beloso hit the home run to win the game, he hit the home run. And of course, they got Florida out in the bottom, but the home run. Chris Budden, who's really good, by the way,
she's really good.
Interviewed him afterwards and said, "Boy, what do you feel like? And what a great moment for you. What's going through your mind right now?" And the first thing he said, he said, "Hey, before I say anything else, let me say, Brandon Neely's a really good pitcher. He's one of the best pitchers in the country. He just made one mistake, and I was able to hit it. But I want to tip my cap to how good he is." That was the first. Gibby, did you hear that?
No, but that's cool.
That's the first thing he said before he said, "I'm excited for my team." He said because he did. Guy pitched 5 innings and made one bad pitch, but he said, or however many innings.
Yeah,
but
it was probably about that.
Yeah, but he said, I thought that was so. I think there's a lot of respect between just hearing them talk about each other. I think there's a lot. I think baseball guys have the baseball community because they always feel like they're a really big deal, but they don't get nearly the attention the football and basketball people do. That's just how the baseball. I see it in high school. I see it in college. They don't get the attention. So there's a bond. All these guys have played together, particularly 2 Southern schools like that. They've played in travel tournaments against each other. They know each other. So I think there's a bond between. I tell you, this is gonna be a fun game to watch.
You don't want to get into a fight with those LSU guys.
No, because here's what
There better be respect on the Gators side.
Let me tell you what I found out from the LSU guys. Okay, they're all about 35. Okay,
right. Tommy White looks like he's 40.
Right, they're all 35. They all got pot bellies. They all got long hair. I don't know if you know, they're plumbers on the weekend. Okay, they're all in bowling leagues, aren't they?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the guys that are hitting home runs from LSU. That's the guy that's coming to fix your dishwasher tomorrow. And then he's going to bowl 202 in the bowling league on Tuesday night. That's who they all are.
Well,
I love them, by the way.
I'd
be so rooting for these guys if they weren't going against my team.
Beloso is a beer league softball Hall of Famer.
No question. Okay,
in Louisiana.
Yeah,
so's his dad.
Yeah, right. And they're apprentice plumbers. They're starting with a plumbing company on Thursday. They are. So, but they're a fun team though, and I think Jay Johnson's a good coach. And I think they've done a great job. You can see the respect. And I'm telling you, if it wasn't Florida,